Utahraptor, a dromaeosaur or raptor the size of a polar bear. It lived in the upper yellow-cap member of the early Cretaceous and was by far the biggest carnivore in its environment, making history as the only dromaeosaur apex predator, until recent discoveries demonstrated that Utahraptor actually lived alongside another meat-eating theropod up to 10 times its size. It began with dragon teeth, shed remnants of ancient apex predators after meals or death. These teeth were from 3 quarries within the yellow-cap member of the Cedar Mountain Formation, making them around 135 million years old. These serrated teeth had multiple shapes, sizes, and morphologies, indicating that potentially up to 3 different species had left them, all of which were identified in 2024 as allosauroids. The yellow-cap member they were from was long regarded as one with relatively medium-sized animals. The low-slung Nodosaur gastonia, dog to cow-sized ornithopods like Hippodraco and Cedrarestes, elephantine sauropods like Moabosaurus and Cedarosaurus. The only dinosaurian predators were Yurgovuchia, a wolf-sized dromaeosaur, and Utahraptor, another dromaeosaur but with the mass of a polar bear. In a modern context, these herbivores would be among the largest on the planet, with the so-called medium-sized predator one of the most massive in any terrestrial ecosystem. But for the Cretaceous, these were unremarkable in terms of body size. Not every ecosystem needs to have a gigantic carnivore after all. While the allosauroid teeth were interesting, they were piecemeal and fragmented, only providing tantalizing hints instead of solid evidence for something more grand. In November 2025, a team of Utah paleontologists, my buddies from BYU actually, presented on remains of an animal that would completely change our understanding of the yellow cat fauna and ecology. A giant carcharodontosaurid that ruled North America millions of years before Acrocanthosaurus or Siats. This was the Dragon of Cedar Mountain. Flashback to August 2024. We're out digging in the Mayray quarry of the yellow-cap member when Jacob finds a big old rib. Originally, we thought it was Moabosaurus given the size, but later analysis by Brooks Britt back at the lab found pneumatic fossae that indicated a theropod identity. As it turned out, there was more material: a 33 centimeter tall posterior dorsal vertebra from the Cisgo quarry, 7 teeth from the Gray Ash quarry with enamel crowns up to 60 millimeters tall, a 9.5 centimeter long proximal phalanx of the first finger on the hand from the Mayray quarry, and 7 dorsal ribs from Mayray, the longest of which is 1.15 meters long. The one that I was there for, the one we all thought was Moabosaurus at first, was not that big. Based on the abstract and the conversations I've had with Jacob, the Dragon of Cedar Mountain is believed to be a basal carcharodontosaurid most similar to Neovenator, so we'll use that to scale each of the specimens from smallest to largest. The Gray Ash teeth are not especially large, roughly half the size of the described teeth from Neovenator. Tooth scaling in reptiles is infamously difficult, however, given how tooth size is quite variable within the jaw and within individuals. The smallest the owners of these teeth could be is about 3.5 meters and 350 kilograms, already comparable to Utahraptor. The proximal phalanx isn't very big either, at 9.5 centimeters compared to 13.5 in Neovenator. That's a 5 meter, 400-ish kilogram animal. Still Utahraptor range. The dorsal vertebra is where things shake up the ecosystem. At 33 centimeters tall, it's 37% taller than the largest vert in Neovenator. Applying isometry and scaling that up indicates an animal between 8.8 and 9.8 meters long and weighing between 2.2 and 3.0 metric tons. At the low end, that's over 4 times heavier than the biggest Utahraptor specimens we have, and is similar to the size difference between average adult males of cougars and brown bears. That still isn't the biggest specimen, and keep in mind that these could all represent different Neovenator-like carcs in the same environment or different growth stages of the same animal. The monster of the formation, the apex predator you clicked on this video to find out about, is scaled from the huge dorsal rib. The biggest of the 7 ribs from Mayray was 1.15 meters long. Depending on measurement standards and the recon used, that's 59 to 65% longer than the longest rib in Neovenator. We obtain a body length range of 11.4 to 11.8 meters for the Dragon of Cedar Mountain, with a scaled up corresponding body mass of 4.8 to 5.3 metric tons. Again, on the low end, that's 10 times the mass of a large Utahraptor. Overall, the dragon is comparable to other big theropods like Allosaurus annex, Torvosaurus, and Tarbosaurus. If it were built like a Neovenator, it would be long and fairly slim, with powerful hand claws. The dragon stood approximately 3.2 meters tall at the hip, on par with the shoulder height of an average adult bull African bush elephant. That's a size range that would allow it to comfortably hunt Moabosaurus and Cedarosaurus, overpowering them with gripping claws and slashing bites from the serrated teeth within its 1.1 meter or 3.5 foot skull. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with calling that an apex predator. Again, I must point out that we don't know if the various specimens we have are all part of the same species. Given the diversity of carcharodontosaurid teeth found here, it wouldn't surprise me if we had multiple taxa coexisting, each filling their own niche in the broader yellowcat ecosystem. The smaller ones would go after ornithopods like Hippodraco, perhaps ambushing clawed animals like Falcarius. The mid-sized predator, I say mid-sized but it's around 2.5 tons, might not attack the prickly Gastonia but could take down Moabosaurus. And the biggest dragon shows just how strange this formation is, or how incomplete our understanding of it is. It's a megacarch that's half the size of the biggest herbivore in the area in terms of body mass, rather than 1/10. I'd expect the dragon, whether it represents an adult of the smaller animals or its own thing, to specialize in the sauropods of the yellowcat, leaving Utahraptor to take down smaller prey. The idea that Utahraptor was the only large-bodied predator in the upper yellowcat member certainly appears to be outdated now, although the 2024 Dragon Tooth paper already indicated that. On a broader scale, we should point out that this huge carnivore is in North America. Early Cretaceous North America specifically, filling an elephant-sized apex predator role 35 million years before Siats rolled up. Funnily enough, Siats is another giant probable neovenatorid from Utah originally thought to be a sauropod in the field. Acrocanthosaurus wouldn't even appear for another 15 million years after the Dragon of Cedar Mountain. This pushes back the appearance of giant carcharodontosaurids in North America to only 10 million years after the end of the Jurassic, and only 15 million years after the first known carcharodontosaurid, Utahraptor. This should raise some interesting questions that hopefully further analysis will be able to answer. How quickly did carcharodontosaurids spread from Africa to North America? What pressures caused them to obtain immense body size in such a short time? And what kind of undiscovered herbivore diversity was driving such intense speciation for predators even just within the yellowcat member? Knowing that Utahraptor may have been accompanied by at least 3 basal carcharodontosaurids, at least one of which was Allosaurus to Acrocanthosaurus sized, makes me wonder what other apex predators are lurking in the rocks, waiting for us to uncover them. It also raises the possibility that Utahraptor engaged in group behavior as a strategy to hunt large prey that they wouldn't be able to alone, in an attempt to deal with the influx of sauropod-killing megatheropods encroaching on their turf. Or perhaps they were already here in groups, and then the dragon entered the territory to scare them off their kills and steal what they had taken down. Do you think these carcharodontosaurid skeletal remains represent one type of animal or multiple species? How do you think Utahraptor niche partitioned with the smaller carchs if they did live together? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks to Jacob, Carter, and Tyler for being a great dig team. As always, you can check out my book Extinction Obsidian Dawn and subscribe to support the work I do here on the channel. I appreciate everything that you guys do. The more people subscribe, the more digs I can afford to go on and share with you. I'm the Vividen, and I'll see you the next time a secret megatheropod pops out of nowhere.